Here are some of the first images live from Chopper 13 HD of the destruction at the neighborhood there on the south side. This explosion last night, shortly after 11 o'clock, leveled 2 homes, and presumably that's what we're looking at, is just what's left of the debris and the flattened foundations of those 2 homes that are now gone. There has been serious damage to the adjacent homes. We understand 2 of the homes nearby have burned, and then as many as 24 homes in this subdivision are damaged. Everything from the home actually being lifted off its foundation to a broken window. We're hearing reports of throughout the neighborhood as you drive through, it looks like garage doors have been punched in with a large fist, and many of the garage doors have been knocked off their hinges.
And one thing that you should note, you do not see many people there in that neighborhood, and that's because police, firefighters, investigators, Homeland Security, ATF, all keeping everyone out of that neighborhood. We're talking about 200 people that have been evacuated from their homes. A lot of them had to stay with friends and family overnight, and some of them stayed at an elementary school, Mary Bryan Elementary School, as they needed help after having to leave their home. Now, as to how this happened, that question we're still trying to figure out this morning. We spoke with Citizens Gas earlier this morning here on Weekend Sunrise, and they tell us that a gas leak is possible in that area, but they have not been able to confirm that because they cannot get to the site of that explosion. And that is what you are looking at. That is on Field Fair Way near Alcona Drive, and that's in the Richmond Hill subdivision on the south side of Indianapolis.
We're hearing there's damage to homes on Field Fair Way, clearly, and then Alcona Drive and Tauhees Drive. But again, investigators have been on the scene overnight. They've been going house to house to make sure that there are no other people that were inside their homes at the time and were injured or otherwise. But so far we're hearing that 4 have been sent to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. There's another look at the map there on the far south side. Now, in the meantime, we've had crews at and around the scene. Let's go to Jennifer Carmack. She's live with the latest on how they're handling the situation with residents. Jennifer?
Aaron, thanks very much. We want to go and show you some absolutely amazing pictures. Chopper 8's been up all morning, and just really gives you a sense of how extensive the damage was. Steve Bray is there, and he is in the chopper, and he has been following this for us all morning. And Steve, again, not too many investigators just yet. There were some earlier, but right now it doesn't seem to be too many at the scene, are there?
No, there are a few people that are walking around, but it doesn't look like anybody's digging through the debris at this time. One of the interesting things, we're going to do a quick lap around, but I want you to watch this. You see these 2 houses here? They're on the opposite side of the explosion, or at least the front of the house is on the opposite side of the explosion. And look at those garage doors. We'll show you why those are blown out in just a second. But as you can see, there is a lot of debris that stretches across the backyards of those homes. And there seems to be about 4 homes that are severely damaged along this road, but then there are the homes that were completely leveled, 2 foundations completely leveled, and then the houses alongside them burned out. We've been able to count about 6 houses in this row that were severely affected, and then you see again across the street here there's about 4 houses that are severely damaged. So in all, on our amateur status of being able to see this damage and being able to measure that damage, it looks like about 14 homes, but some of the damage obviously is not going to be able to be seen from this vantage point. But now I'm going to go back to those houses. Remember those garage doors that were blown out towards the opposite side of the explosion? This is why. Look at the backs of those homes. You can see how the explosion, the blast from that explosion, took out, at least on the house on the left, almost the entire first floor, and therefore the rush of air then went out through the garage door. And then the same with this house here. Not quite as much damage, but this yellow house here, just a severe amount of damage, basically taking out that entire first floor. So you can imagine for the people that may have been home in this house, along with obviously some of the others that were adjacent to the explosion, just the nightmare that had to become. And you know, we have no idea who those people are at this point, what their injuries were, and the stories that are going to come out from those folks that were in these homes that were directly adjacent. We did hear from somebody earlier that was involved in a house that caught flame, and those are adjacent on each side of those foundations, and so those are clear to see. But it'll be interesting to see in the next couple of days the stories and the horrifying moments that had to take place after this explosion happened, Dave.
Yeah.
Deadly explosion. At least 2 people killed, dozens of homes damaged after a massive blast overnight in Indianapolis. What went wrong? And at 11 minutes past the hour, let's get you a check now of the rest of the morning's top stories with Jenna Wolf. Jenna, good morning.
Good morning, you guys. Morning, everyone. A thunderous late-night explosion destroyed 2 houses and set 2 more on fire in an Indianapolis neighborhood. 2 deaths and multiple injuries have also been reported. About 200 people sought shelter overnight in a nearby elementary school. Flying debris and the shockwave from the blast damaged at least 18 homes. Investigators will begin looking for the cause of the explosion later this morning.